Hi guys, and welcome to this new lecture about shapes and merge paths. Merge paths are a way to create compound or complex shapes, and the best example I can give you here is to create a gear. From there on you will understand merge path and you can go ahead and create very complex shapes the way you like them. Let's start by creating a star. I will click on star tool and go and create my funny star as always. We give it more spikes or corners. Come to the polystar here. In the polystar path we increase the inner roundness. That will be cool. Fine. And we want to adjust it in the middle, center it. We put the position in transform polystar to 0. Now it's in the middle of the layer or centered. I will come to polystar. Let's say this one, we'll call it group and we say gear, for example. Cool. I will create here a ellipse, and from this ellipse I want to start trimming the top spikes of the gear. I will come to the ellipse here and scale it up. Decide where I want to scale it to trim the top, exactly the top. That will be fine. Now since I want to trim it, these ones might not work with you at all now. It's a really different job. So I will use the merge path. I will come to the gear group and I will go and use the merge path. The merge path came under the polystar and the ellipse, and these are the two paths that will be merged. I will come to add and use subtract, for example. So we have an interesting shape, but it's not really what you want. Let's say about the intersect. That is working. It has chopped off these spikes and it's looking good. The merge path has made the intersection between the ellipse and the polystar. I can put the polystar on top. It's still the same effect. I will come to the ellipse path and can make it bigger or smaller the way I would like to. Fine, that's okay. Now I have a merge path. So these two shapes have been merged and the last shape is contained inside the merge path. Let's add another ellipse because I want to remove these spikes here from the inside. I'll take the ellipse and put it under my merge path. Fine. Now I will get the ellipse to be bigger. For example, over here. And here you are. I have now my kind of wheel. I like this one pretty much. Now I want to add a hole in here to put a gear, for example, or a shaft inside. So you have here a merge path 1 and ellipse path 1. These are two shapes. I want to merge them in one to make a hole in the middle. What I will do, I will add another merge path and take it under the ellipse and just make it add or merge if I like. It's the same. So now my last final shape here, or the shape path, is everything that I can see. I will come and add an ellipse in the middle and take it under the path and add another merge path under the ellipse. You notice how it's coming. So now I will make this one subtract. So the small ellipse has been subtracted from merge path 2, that is everything above. Fine, I will make my ellipse a bit bigger. You have now a very nice gear that you can of course animate either from the gear group or from the layer. Let's animate it from the polystar. We can do that. We keyframe the rotation, come after 4 seconds, give it, for example, 3. And we run a ramp preview. So now you notice you have your gear that is turning extremely fast. Let's make it only 1, so we see it slowly. Here you are. This is how you use merge path. So the concept of it is inside a group, you can add merge path and use the 4 or 5 modes that you have here: add, subtract, intersect, and exclude intersection, to create some very nice shapes. This is one shape just by changing a single merge path. Of course, you want to train on this. You want to make sure that you know exactly how it works. You can come now outside the group in the content, add another shape, for example, and a rectangle, just for the sake of giving the example, and make the rectangle a bit bigger. Okay, let's put it like this, just for the example. It's not gonna look good at all. We can use now a merge path under the rectangle and say, for example, subtract. So it's subtracting everything from the outside, or we can say intersect, and you can see the gear has been chopped off. So the merge path can either be used inside the group or inside the content here, and you can play with all its attributes. Merge paths are very useful and you can use them to create compound shapes. Thanks very much for listening, and I hope you will use the merge path. Go to After Effects and start playing with the merge path and see exactly what you can do. Now, it's important that you collect all this information and you train yourself of using all the strategies that I gave in shapes here, and I'm gonna give you much more